So can we start? Let me see. Okay, nice. Yes, I was just checking for some few things. That is okay. It's okay. Okay. Uh, Hello, guys. I'm Jean. You already know me, and so today, this morning, we are going to talk about Power BI. So I will present first, and we will manage with question later. So let me just share my screen. If you can see my screen, just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So this morning tutorial will be more like exploration about Power BI and its features and its possibilities for data visualization. Yes, more likely data visualization. And so we are going to explore things in a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation. And then I will just show you a kind of dashboard actually produced in telecommunication industry. So I just make it so that you guys can actually explore, and from your exploration, you will be requested to ask some question. Yes. So now we are going more likely to focus on telecommunication industries because you know, guys, in Africa, telecommunication industry is one of the most promising for data science things. So maybe after this training, you are probably going to get some position with some company. So most of them could just be telecommunication company. So that's why I'm going to use telecommunication industry to as a particular as a use case for this dashboard and KPI presentation. So basically, what will be our agenda? So we are just going to see to talk about dashboard building process. We are going to see the definition, what is a dashboard and what are the building processes. Then we are going to see how can we design the back end of our dashboard. And then we are going to end this presentation by data visualization. So the possibility we have actually with especially telecommunication data. Yes. So yes, this actually I prepared this small video. It's about 5 minutes, but I think it's okay if we manage quickly. We can do it. So it showed the impact of data visualization in nowadays industry. So I will just play that so that you guys could be introduced. Just let me. Okay. Let me increase.
My own work too. I teach global health. And I know having the data is not enough. I have to show it in ways people both enjoy and understand. Now, I'm going to try something I've never done before. Animating the data in real space with a bit of technical assistance from the crew. So, here we go. First, an axis for health, life expectancy, from 25 years to 75 years. And down here, an axis for wealth, income per person, $400, $4,000, and $40,000. So down here is poor and sick, and up here is rich and healthy. Now, I'm going to show you the world 200 years ago, in 1810. Here come all the countries. Europe brown, Asia red, Middle East green, Africa south of Sahara blue, and the Americas yellow. And the size of the country bubbles show the size of the population. And in 1810, it was pretty crowded down there, wasn't it? All countries were sick and poor. Life expectancy were below 40 in all countries. And only the UK and the Netherlands were slightly better off, but not much. And now, why start the world? The Industrial Revolution makes countries in Europe and elsewhere move away from the rest. But the colonized countries in Asia and Africa, they are stuck down there. And eventually, the Western countries get healthier and healthier. And now we slow down to show the impact of the First World War and the Spanish flu epidemic. What a catastrophe! And now I speed up through the 1920s and the 1930s. And in spite of the Great Depression, Western countries forge on towards greater wealth and health. Japan and some others try to follow, but most countries stay down here. Now, after the tragedies of the Second World War, we stop a bit to look at the world in 1948. 1948 was a great year. The war was over, Sweden topped the medal table at the Winter Olympics, and I was born. But the differences between the countries of the world was wider than ever. United States was in the front, Japan was catching up. Brazil was way behind, Iran was getting a little richer from oil, but still had short lives. And the Asian giants, China, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Indonesia, they were still poor and sick down here. But look what is about to happen. Here we go again. In my lifetime, former colonies gained independence, and then finally they started to get healthier and healthier and healthier. And in the 1970s, then countries in Asia and Latin America started to catch up with the Western countries. They became the emerging economies. Some in Africa follows. Some Africans were stuck in civil war and others hit by HIV. And now we can see the world today in the most up-to-date statistics. Most people today live in the middle, but there are huge differences at the same time between the best of countries and the worst of countries. And there are also huge inequalities within countries. These bubbles show country averages, but I can split them. Take China, I can split it into provinces. There goes Shanghai. It has the same wealth and health as Italy today. And there is the poor inland province Guizhou. It is like Pakistan. And if I split it further, the rural parts are like Ghana in Africa. And yet, despite the enormous disparities today, we have seen 200 years of remarkable progress. That huge historical gap between the West and the rest is now closing. We have become an entirely new converging world. And I see a clear trend into the future. With aid, trade, green technology and peace, it's fully possible that everyone can make it to the healthy, wealthy corner. Well, what you have seen in the last few minutes is a story of 200 countries shown over 200 years and beyond. It involved plotting of 120,000 numbers. Pretty neat, huh?
Yes, so it was actually a short video, a 5-minute video about the impact of data visualization in nowadays industries. So moving to the next session, what is actually a dashboard? So a dashboard is an information management tool that visually tracks, analyzes, and display key performance indicators, metric, and key data point to monitor the health of a business, a department, or a specific process. Yes, so it's customizable to meet the need of an organization or a process. Yes, and now it's the most efficient way to track multiple data sources because it's probably provide a central location from for business to monitor and analyze the performance. Now it's also a real-time monitoring. Its real-time monitoring capability also reduce the hours of analysis and long line of communication that previously challenged the businesses. Yes, so now moving to the dashboard framework, you have the layer. Yes, so those layers are the layer of the framework have a priority. So exactly in the orders I just make them in this slide. So you have data from the bottom to the top. You have data storage, you have the designing and the backend, you have data visualization engine, and you have to now to design your interface for client. And so now moving to the next session, what are actually the building process of a dashboard? Yes, here you have the requirement gathering. So you really need to know where you are going to, so that you can just decide how to get there. Yes. So now after that, you need to identify your audience, and you need to develop your metric, and you need to determine the level of your data, and you need to design and the display, and then you need to deliver your dashboard. So you need to identify the user, the stakeholder, the business manager of your dashboard. Then you need to define the metric that will be the best suited for driving improvement. Then the next step is to determine the level of data required. And now your dashboard comes to picture. And by the end, you are going to deliver your dashboard to your audience. Yes. So each of those building process requires some inputs. So for example, for the requirement gathering, you need to choose your platform. You could be using Power BI or ClickView for presentation. So you need to choose your platform. You need to choose the level of drill down things. You need to choose your filter. You need to identify important KPI to be analyzed, and so now moving to the how do you identify your audience? It could just be for the top management like CEO, like CTIOs, and it could also be for analysts, and also for business leaders, for like managers, for example. Yes. Moving now to the development of the metric, there are some input like subscriber KPI, like usage KPI, like revenue KPI, like coverage and speed KPI, like the market share, like the marketing side, like the quality of the network. So especially in telecommunication industry, you have those things. So now, how do you determine? Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. So can you put your presentation? Can you put your slide on presentation mode? As in full screen? I think it's down there.
Yes, like that. Okay, it's okay. Is it okay?
No. Yes. Click on that. Yes. Yeah. So this is better.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So yes, so now how do you actually determine the level of data? Then you have to have some input here, exactly like customer data, like seat or grid level data, like call record data, like usage data, like revenue, like propensity models. So this is exactly what we need when we are working with a telecommunication company, for example. Now coming to how do you design the display, then you need to choose where you are going to place your company, where to place your filters, where to place your panels. And now by the end, you are going to deliver your dashboard, and you have to choose the platform for delivery. So you have to choose it so that it could just be Tableau or Power BI or ClickView or Excel, and how to it should be delivered and at which frequency. Yes. So now, depending on which group you are delivering to, it could just be the executive group, or it could be an operational view, or it could be for just a statistician or analyst. So depending on which view you want to show at the end of your dashboard, all the process, you are just going to need some KPI. Yes, so especially for the executive view, you could just need to plot to display information about the campaign effectiveness. And I will come up to the full screen because this does not appear when I do that. That's why I come back. So let me just move on with this slide, and we come back to the full screen. So now for the executive view, you will actually need the campaign to measure the campaign effectiveness. For example, the net churn trend, the quality of experience dashboard, aggregated program for profitability, and so on and so forth. So executive view need more general information. Now coming to operational view, you will need actually to display some information about the campaign measurement, about the segment wise, about the churn trend, and so. Now coming down to the analyst view, you will have to display some more information about how the campaign, a customer value management campaign is performing. For example, what are the daily, the weekly customer net add, what are the propensity score, and what are the segmentation dashboard. So you need all those data. So now moving to the next step related to how do we design our backend. Yes, so designing backend. So this is where your your dashboard truly begin to come to life. So this are focused more on how the telecommunication data will be displayed, what will be the display KPI of telecommunication usage, for example. So it answers basically the question of how to generate the telecommunication data in backend. It's also answer the question of what function should be performed at each click. Yes, so if there is a drill down option, for example, what is the level of this drill down? Yes, so now coming to the architecture of your dashboard, yes, you will have the executive, your presentation layer. So you will have it, you will have executive view, you will have operational view, you will have analyst view, you will have even Haddock analysis. But all those kind of presentation layer should just be related to your analytic data mats. And what do I call analytic data map? It's just a relationship between your initial data, yes, and the analytic engine, actually. So you will have in business to solve a lot of problems. So some example of problem in telecommunication industries are actually how do we segment our customers? How do we manage our customers? So using a customer value management engine, how do we segment using the segmentation and profitability engine? How do we optimize the channel of communication? How do we optimize the prices using the tariff optimization engine? How do we optimize the product recommendation? So there is the recommendation engine, there is the network optimization engine. So all those kind of engine are going to take data from your initial data sources and make some outputs. So those output could just be scoring results, optimizing ranking, forecasting, and also scoring results. So now once you have those kind of output, you are just going to connect either those kind of output and or your initial data to your presentation layer to have whatever view you want. So it could be just executive dashboard, it could be executive report, it could be used for specific view, it could be used for ad hoc analysis. So whatever you want, you could just do it. So now come up with some KPI with respect to the revenue, the usage, the subscriber, which can be useful to represent in dashboard. So actually focus on a telecommunication KPI. Yes, so now if I have problems here. So if I, for example, move to the subscriber side, yes, so you could just choose to plot the total source, total number of customer or subscriber, the customer segmentation, like split by prepaid, postpaid, the churn per month, the subscriber per employee. There are a lot of things. So now moving to the usage side, you could actually have the minute of use, how many minutes a user actually using during the month, during the week, during the year, during the trimester, everything you want. So minute per site, number of call per subscriber, and so on and so forth. Moving to the revenue side, you could just have the average revenue per user and the average revenue per minute, the average revenue per call, and everything related to revenue. So now at the technical network level, you could just assess your coverage and speed. So now you will have to check about the town coverage, the population coverage with the network, the area coverage, the globalization, the number of country operating entities. So now all those kind of KPI are just example of what you could be just using when you are working as a data scientist in the telecommunication industries. And without forgetting the market share related things. So you have actually the customer share, the revenue market share, the minute market share, the data market share, SMS usage market share. So you have everything you want related to that one. And just continue with the KPI. You will actually have some other KPI at the operational efficiency. So now you could here have the average margin per user, the employee cost, the number of BTS side, the number of MRC, and so those one are some technical information. You guys will be introduced to that when you are working with a telecommunication company, for example. So now at the marketing side, you have the subscriber acquisition cost, you have the sales outlet, so you have everything related to the marketing side, how much it costs for the company to sell actually the product through all the possible channel, through the distribution, what kind of distribution channel do we have, is it efficient? So you will have to define some KPI like those one to check about the efficiency of those kind of things. So about the quality of your service now, you will be design some KPI, for example, service performance, the network congestion, the connection, the connection maintenance. So those kind of KPI are just going to let you appreciate how better your quality of experience is, how better your service, the service you are selling, how better are they compared to the other operator actually operating in the same area like with your company. So you have also other level like telecommunication tower and then incremental performance. So here you could just see the share of net add. So the net addition will just be the difference between the gross addition, so the new customers, and so the gross addition and the churn. So the churn is when some customer are just leaving the network. So now there is a gross addition, like new customers from new customers, new coming from and reconnection. So when you do gross, you want to compute, for example, the gross that you do new customers plus reconnection, but you will have to input this to extract the churn to get your net add. For example, you guys will be introduced to all those things when you start working with a telecommunication company, for example. So share of incremental revenue, a quarterly side added, and so on and so forth. So those are some KPI I would like to share with you. If you guys will have to work with a telecommunication company, this is the kind of KPI you are going to use when you are working to build a dashboard. Yes, and so there are too much technical terms. So I just put this slide to review some abbreviation like MOU, which means minute of use, and is actually the average communication time per 1 month per one user. So there is also the ARPU, there is the RPM, there is the AMPU. So average margin per user, there is the SAC, subscriber acquisition cost, and so this one you are going to use it to compute the subscriber profitability, so the lifetime value of a customer. So it will be like a crossing of what actually the customer costs to acquire them, and what are they generating in terms of revenue. Yes, so these are some terminology you will be familiar with if you are working as a data scientist in the telecommunication industries. And we just talked about some analytic engine. So you have the input data. They could just be everything. They could just be CDR. So everything not really proceeds. So you will have actually to solve some kind of small problem like segmentation. So if we have a lot of customer spending a lot of money in our network, how can we actually segment those customers so that we know that those segments are spending between this and this, and those other segments are spending, for example, between this and this. So we just segment our customers so that we know how to deal with each group of customers. Those who now there is a segmentation on for example, segmentation. You have a table for your segment for all your customer, and the next month some customer are just going to move from one segment to another segment, let's say like that. And some other, let's say we have 1, 2, 3 segments. So there is a kind of moving of all the customer from one segment to the other segment. So there is a dynamic moving. So now if in June, for example, you have a customer with a segment, next month this customer could just move on in the another level of segment. So now your segmentation profitability engine, you will have it, and it will be providing you with all data about the segment moving cross time. And then you will also have the channel optimization engine. So the channel optimization engine will just show you information about the sales performance for different channel, sales versus inventory, store sales data, store attribute, size, channel, inventory, the tires and schedules. So I wanted to share those kind of things with you guys because I know it will be useful if you are working with a telecommunication company, for example. So tariff optimization engine. So the price of the product depend on so many factors. So a tariff optimization engine is going just to use the existing data to propose to recommend new tariff for a subscriber based on its behavior. Yes, then you have the product recommendation engine, which will be using to propose new product, to recommend some kind of product based on the customer behavior. So if you know, for example, our customer is more likely using data, is more using data than voice package, then we are going to know how to combine those kind of services so that we propose a new package to this customer so that he could just have less voice minutes and more megabyte data. Yes, so there is the product recommendation engine. There is the network optimization, yes, to assess our quality of service and assess also how it's related to the quality of experience. Yes, and now once you have all those kind of metric, they are all like you could just see them like numerical variables. So now if you have metric like numerical variables, you should be able to filter the view you want to see. So there should be some drill down option for your dashboard. Yes, so if you are measuring, you are just assessing the revenue, for example, then you should be able to split your revenue per region, per tenure, per gender, per data usage class. You could just split it as those who are using less than 1 gigabit, those who are using between 1 and 2 gigabit, and those who are using over 2 gigabit, and so now there is also the customer segment. You can actually use the revenue segment, the prepaid versus postpaid, and all those things to actually design your drill down option. So you can also use the tariff plan and the handset type, and so every the smartphone flag also. So those who are using the smartphone, for example, we have better a quality of experience in terms of data usage than those who are not using the smartphone. Yes, so there should be, for example, a smartphone flag to identify whether the customer is using a smartphone or not, to now check if crossing that with our our city, our city or seat coverage, or our quality of service, how better is the quality of experience now for this customer? Because the quality of experience also depends on the handset the subscriber or the customer is actually using. Yes. Now coming to the data visualization. In this session, I will just say that data visualization is a general term that describe any effort to help people understand the significance of data by placing it in a visual context. So it will help identify patterns, trend, and correlation that might go undetected in text-based data. Can be here now exposed and recognized easier with data visualization. So data visualization just allow the user to select the best way of presenting the data. Yes. So now, what are some improvements in telecommunication with data visualization? There is the customer retention side. So the customer service quality is driving force behind customer satisfaction. So visualize how customer satisfaction be improved, as well as which service area are faltering and why. So this is an example. So it's also using to improve. There is also some improvement in the side of network operation. So monitoring wireless network usage allow operator, for example, to plan hardware upgrade, meet SLA, and minimize drop call, for example. So the performance analysis to a radio network, core network, and business layer can also prevent revenue leakage. So so you have those kind of improvement in actually in the telecommunication and this space. And now let's see data visualization as a solution in telecommunication. So with data visualization, business executives at telecommunication companies can compare the performance between all operators for a key indicator, for example, such as the accessibility or percentage of drop call, or a single screen for quick overview or pertinent strength and weakness. So data visualization could just also support us to identify network shortcoming and making fast improvement. So it could just also allow us to calculate the statistical correlation between various KPI for more effective over analysis. And it could also be used to so data visualization has allow us to identify profitable area that we can strengthen in terms of infrastructure and service to be marketed. Yes. So now these are some example of data visualization screenshots. You guys should know how to manipulate, how to mine them, how to explore them using actually one of the platform for visualization. It could just be Tableau, it could just be Power BI, it could just be ClickView. Whatever tool you are using, you should be able to mine, to explore, to make some kind of visualization. And those one I'm going to show you. So this is yes, the using split of net versus on net. Yes, for a telecommunication provider. So these are bar chart you guys know, and those things at the right are just KPI we compute in terms of percentage of share. So when you take, for example, the voice, you will have the voice user split as per on net. Let's say same network to the same network call. It's called an on net call. Let's say you are using MTN SIM card, for example, and you use the SIM card to call your friend who is also using MTN. Then we are talking about on-net call, and off-net is when you are using MTN to call, for example, Orange or Move or another operator. So now there is outgoing share, there is ability share. So we compute the design KPI in terms of share of the total in percentage here. So now this is a kind of screenshot of data visualization. And moving to this next screen, you will just see the pie chart describing the split of the revenue per cluster. Yes, and you have above the KPI also the customer lifetime value here, the average revenue per user here, the total revenue here, the total profit, the subscriber. And you have here now the filters. Yes, the filters. You could just filter to see all those results only for the human, the women, for example, the men. And you could also choose your tariff type, so you have some flexibility in the kind of view you just want to see. Yes. So now here is how we plot a trend. Yes, a trend. So here is some data about the total revenue, the total voice revenue, and the total data revenue trend for 6 months. So in the x-axis, I think we have months from January to June, and here you have in the second axis you have the total revenue here, the voice revenue here, and the data revenue here. So you have here the trend, and this is the kind of visualization you could just use to do some diagnosis analysis. Yes, and here at this in the side you have the KPI. Yeah, the data revenue, the data share. Yes, the voice revenue, the voice revenue share, the total, and so on and so forth. So what takeaway can you actually draw from this dashboard? Yes, you can see, just look at the trend and diagnose some problem somewhere here in the third month, for example, for both total revenue and voice revenue. So when you look at this one, actually, basically the top management will see that the total revenue is dropping for this month. And now, as a data scientist, they could just ask you why we have this situation. Yes. So you are just going to, for the total revenue, you have everything inside. You could just have the fast revenue inside. You could just have the mobile financial revenue inside. You could have the voice revenue inside. You could have the data revenue inside. You could have also the SMS revenue inside. So you could have any kind of revenue inside the total revenue. And now we just observe a decrease of the total revenue for the month 3. So what do you diagnose? You can actually see the voice revenue and the data revenue, and you see that the trend of the data revenue is pretty good for the month 3, but the trend of the voice revenue is not good. That means that the drop of the total revenue we actually observe in the third month is actually due to the voice revenue drop. Yes. And moving now to, yes, so now you can actually see that this SMS revenue is also dropping in the month 3. So now you could just say that the drop of total revenue we have in the month 3 is actually due to the drop of voice revenue plus SMS revenue. And that's all. Yes. So now this is the kind of information your dashboard could actually help you get quickly. So now here we have information about the refill and the refill channel. So per channel you have a digital channel, you have voucher channel. So per channel you can actually see the performance, and and now, so here is the voice usage. Also, here is some bar chart to show you on net and versus off net split, billing versus non-billing revenue, incoming versus outgoing, and some other KPI in the right side. Yes. So now here is also the voice usage trend. Yes. The voice usage trend just show you the general voice usage, and now moving down you have the on net versus off net call, and to diagnose where is the problem, because here there is clearly a problem. Why do we have some drop of revenue here? Now you are going to check with the below split on net versus off net, what is happening. There we can actually see that, okay, the off net voice trend is normal and stay the same over time, but the on net voice just drop, and that's why we have a drop here with the total voice usage. Same thing for the incoming and versus outgoing call. Yes. So here we have the problem with both. So with the on net drop, we have the problem with both incoming and outgoing call. And now billed versus non-billed call, you have the same thing. You have some nice visualization. What are the takeaway you can actually draw from this dashboard? Yes, you're just thinking about. And so now these are the kind of visualization you could just actually have as a data scientist working with a telecommunication industries. And so you have this. Yes. And now we are going to use a Power BI to explore some data, because I told you we have a lot of platform like Tableau, like ClickView, like Excel, like Power BI now, and we are going to use Power BI to explore some data. I think the one I just plotted here, we are just we are going to visualize some data. So now what I will talk about is just Power BI and what is Power BI so far. So Power BI is just a data visualization and business intelligence tool that convert data from different sources to interactive dashboard and BI reports. So although there are several tools available to help user efficiently and easily create pivot table and cross tabulation, Power BI allow a user to take it one step further. So that it allow the user to visualize the cross tabulation just in real time, So the Power BI with Power BI, a user could just drill down database tables and visually. So Power BI software is based on the idea that data analysis and subsequent report should not be isolated activities, but should be integrated into a single visual analysis process. That's why Power BI combines data exploration and data visualization in an easy-to-use application that anyone can quickly learn. So now, talking about the feature of Power BI, there we have hybrid deployment support, which helps the business intelligence tool to connect to different sources of data and allow automatic application of analytics to information by creating, for example, data subset for quick insight features. And now moving to the quick insight features, this help to generate automatic insight from your data set. So Power BI use various algorithms to search for trend in your data set and display them automatically. So within seconds, you could actually get your insight ready. Yes, so then you have visual discovery, where you can actually customize a visual solution that will just meet your reporting requirement. Then you have customization, and you also have API integration, which allow you to directly collect the data from web sources, for example. Yes. Now moving to the next session, what can we say about the Power BI architecture? Yes. So Power BI architecture is a service, just a service built on top of Azure. Yes. So there are multiple data sources that Power BI can connect to. So Power BI desktop allow to connect reports and data visualization on the data set. So Power BI Gateway actually is connected to on-premise data sources to get continuous data for reporting and analytics. And Power BI service refers to the cloud services that are used to publish our Power BI reports and data visualization. So now Power BI mobile application, with them you can just stay connected to the data from anywhere you want. So now Power BI app are just available for Windows and iOS and Android platform. Yes. So now what we are going to do is just to explore. I have prepared a dashboard here, and we are going to use maybe the the cloud the web the web link to use actually Power BI in the cloud is here, but as I tried it yesterday, and I just get, let me see, actually, where can I create? Okay, let me see if, okay, I use it yesterday, and I just get some. I was obliged to sign in. Yes, I will do this first to show you that you can actually use Power BI from online without download the application, and then I will show you how to do if you have to download by yourself. And you will have to download, because when I was using the online version, I just see I have to choose and I have to sign in. So I'm seeing in for, yes, for this time, but hmm, let me see. Okay, this is not working. Let me try something. Okay, I'll just show you this time, and next time we are going to see how we are going to. Yes, just let me log in first. So the web version look like this. Yes, and I think you should have a work address, an organization address to be able to log in. But once you log in like that, you will just have to click here to get your data, and I'll get them here from file. I think get the file, and from local file here I can actually just click on the dashboard. So this is the dashboard I just provide you in the today folder. So this is the one you are going to explore and answer some question. So now for those who have Windows, it will be easy. You will just have to download I describe all the process. Let me just open first, then I will show. So I already have this uploaded, but I could just replace. It's actually loading, so we are going to wait some second. So we are done. So here now you have your dashboard. Here you have the report, the blender, the data set. So now moving to the dashboard, I just have to click here, and you have a window like that one. I click on that, and then I think you will have access to your dashboard. So you have also the data and everything. Yes, and it's a kind of aggregated data from my telecommunication provider in Nigeria. So actually, we are just going to explore the visualization part. So this is the dashboard itself. So you can, so there is a voice sheet, there is a data usage sheet with information you may need. Yes, if I move, you will have some more information like that. And so now let me just come back here, and we explore things together. Yes, so now here you have some trends here. You have also how the total weekdays again and the total weekends again are just distributed for the segment. Yes, you have everything about your data. Yes, you have things like that. So you have kind of KPI. I just talked about. I told you about in the presentation. You have the share of weekdays, second, the share of thrice weekend, and so on and so forth. So you have everything, and just let me see. So if actually I want to, so let's say there is a task actually due for Monday. You will have time to open this. Those who have a Linux, who are running under Linux, will have to set up a Windows virtual machine, and technically you can go by yourself, find some resources and share with others. And I think I'm also there to help you go through, and Oswald is also here to help technically about how to set up your virtual machine, so that you can now download the Power BI desktop and able to open this report. So here now I'm just seeing in. I'm seeing in, so that you are not probably using the online version. So I will show you how to use the desktop version. So now I think I have a file here describing how you could actually open the, let me see this one. Okay, here, yes, this is the one I share with you in your folder. So you are first going to open a Microsoft account. Yes, going here in the Microsoft website, you select sign in, and then you choose create one, and you do it. You follow the steps, and you provide your email. You choose a, a password, and you are done. So I made some screenshot of the process here, because you will be required to use the Microsoft account when you want to download the Power BI application from your Windows store. So the steps are just described here. You go on the website, you will have to create an account. Yes, you have to provide the password exactly like that, and once you are done, it's okay. So now, how to install Power BI. So once you have your, so those who have a Windows, it's okay, you just have to create this Microsoft account, and then you will just have to go in your Windows store. So I, in the Windows Start menu, you just have to start writing, and then you will have Microsoft store. So you click on the Microsoft store, and will be, then you will have something like that. And here in the search, you will have to write Power BI. Let's see. Yeah, I say Power BI. Okay. Power BI. Oh, let me just Power BI, but we are looking for the desktop, Power BI desktop. So you click on that one, and it will search it automatically and display here. So at the beginning, you just see install, but as I already have it, then once you finish installation, here instead of launch, you will have a first time install. Then we click on the install, and the download process will start. But before it will ask you about your Microsoft account, I think. So once you have already created your Microsoft account, then you can do that. So you will provide information about your Microsoft account, the email, and the password, and then the download will be able to start. So once you've done the download, it should now change this to launch, from install to launch. So now you don't have to launch this Power BI desktop for this time. I already provide you with a dashboard. We are just going to open this dashboard. Of course, you could do it by opening first and then load the dashboard from the inside interface. So, but now you don't actually require to launch the application. Once you are sure the product is installed, you could just close this. And now what you have to do is to download the report I share with you. Yes, this one. Yes, and you have to double click on that, and it's gonna open in your Power BI. So if I double click on this now, it's gonna get open in the Power BI. So without seeing in. So that's why I tell you to not open, because if you open the application first, then it will ask you to probably see in. So now this time we don't need to see in. We just want to explore a data set, a dashboard already to use. We will explore it and answer some quick question. So take your time, because you have until Monday for this. So take the weekend to work on that. Maybe the installation process could be more difficult for those who are running under Linux, but you will have to install a virtual machine. Yes, so now it's actually opening everything, like exactly like I did with the online version. Let me just, okay, wait some second. The time is setting everything. Yes. So So you can actually see that here, I'm not seeing in. I'm not seeing in. It's just open the dashboard. So if I click here now, it's going asking me to see in, but I don't want to see in. So you will not probably see in. So that's why I don't want I don't want to see in. So I want to show you without seeing in option. So now here you have your dashboard. You have a lot of sheets. You have many sheets. You have the voice user. You have the base sheet. You have the data user. You have the revenue, data revenue. You have the refill. You have the developer list. So you could just explore things like that. You click on a sheet and it should just appear like that. Yes. So now, yes, data revenue is here. So what I will talk about now is the data, because all those kind of visualization, either the KPI or the display, the plotting are just coming from some data. So data actually could be just seen here. So, for example, we have data mat, customer data mat here. We are using to plot everything here. So you have the features, the columns of the data. Yes. Yes. So you have the columns of the data here. If I move that, some are calculated and some are just taken like they are. You have also the train data here. So this sheet one is not so important, so you can just leave it. So you have the train data here, and you have the customer data mat, all data aggregated, and so these are the data we are using to make those kind of visualization, and you can actually have them here. Yes, so data. I click on that. Yes, so this is the sheet one. So if I click on the dashboard data, the customer data mat, you will actually get the data exactly like you are printing in an Excel window, an Excel sheet. So you have the data we use to make our dashboard. So they are the kind of I think their KPI I just present you in the PowerPoint presentation just few minutes ago. So you have the total SMS, you have data usage, you have SMS usage, you have, so you have everything. Yes, total lifetime value, the morning second, the weekend second, the total weekday second. So these are really telecommunication data, and we simulated some of them. They are not so real. We simulated some of them so that you can actually see how things can look like in the telecommunication industries. So we simulate those one, for example. You could be seeing the same value everywhere, so this is not important. The most important is that we have data and we could just plot some things with those data. So now here you have the data, and here you have your reports. Yes, so here you have the relationship between tables like exactly like in SQL. Yes, we have table. You could actually do some relationship, moving this to that, and this is not so important. The most important is the data. Which kind of data are we using? You can explore to see once again, which kind of KPI you could be actually dealing with in the telecommunication industries. And now the most important is your dashboard. Moving now to the voice usage, you are going to have some question. I think I designed some. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. I think from here now I have some. Let me see if I don't have some. I have an assignment, I think. Power BI visualization task. So you have this one, I think, in your today folder. Just check. I think you have it. Yes. So I'm going to open that. So you can see now Power BI dashboard task. There are 3 sessions, 1, 2, and 3. So I just actually ask some questions. So explore the dashboard KPI visualization challenge and answer the following question. So what is the total number of subscribers in the data set? Yes. So this is, I will help you start answering the question. Oh, I open it twice. No problem. So here, the total number of subscribers is just here, like a KPI. Yes. So what are the inputs? You will have just to click on these small windows, like here. And when the window is highlighted like that, you can actually see the inputs. So as input, we have a category, we have legend, we have measure. So here I just use the legend subscriber count. Where do I get this legend? Actually from the dashboard data CDM. Yes, so I just show you the data before. So you have three kind of data here, but we are actually using this one for the customer account. So subscriber account is just here. Let me see, subscriber account. So this is just here. So it's like very easy to make, because we are just going to drill down the subscriber account from here to here to get our result. Yes. So you can actually choose to close it here, but so it's very easy. I will just drill down things here. So if I choose, for example, to drill the state here in the category, let's see. Now it's working to update. Yes, and you now have some update here, but I don't want that for now. So I will just remove it by clicking here, by clicking on the close. Yes. So now we are looking for the total count of subscriber. So here is a count of subscriber, but this is not the total count of subscriber. So this is gonna be your work. So you are going to see here in the filtering things, there is some filtering here. If I point this, you can see that we filter on it's actually filtered on gender, and it's actually also filtered on state of origin, and actually also filtered on tariff type. So we are going to remove all those filters to get the total count of subscriber. So now, where is the gender? Is here. Where is the state of origin? Is just below. And where is the tariff type? Is here. So we are going to select all. In order to get the total number of customers, we are going to select all. So actually, if you look at the option available here, the level of selection we have here, we don't have the select all option. So we are going to make it. We click on this small window, and it will just appear here as tariff type. So this come from the data mats. So we just drill down the file to this file to the fill windows. And now, in order to print the select all option, we are going to move on the format side. By clicking here, you will actually have the selection control here. So you scroll this down, and you will actually have at the bottom the select all option. So you are going to turn this option on, so that here now you will have the select all option. So from here you can now select all, and it's gonna update your dashboard. So let's give some second to update, and it's okay. So now you need to do the same thing for the gender. Yes, so for the gender, so if you are not having a lot of space, you can just move things down. Let me just see, they are like, okay, you can just do like that, move things down like here. And this one also, you can just move it now, the smartphone flag, and then you have more space. So now the state of origin, we also have to print the select all option, because there is no select all option here. So you just have to click on that. Once it appear in the field here, you just have to go in the format side and scroll down the selection control, and then select all, turn on the select all option. Then it will appear, and you will select all. Now you will do the same thing for the smartphone flag and the gender also. I think if I done that, I will do that for the gender. Let's just wait for the update to be completed. So I will do that for the gender, and and then we will be able to see the total number of subscribers, at least the response for the first question, I think. Let me just move this. Okay, so the gender is here. I will move to the format side and click on the selection control, and now I can just turn on the select all option. So once I have it, I can just click on that to have to select all the option. Now it's gonna make some updates. Okay, okay. So now you have the total number of subscribers here, because if you point now the filter here, you can see that there is no filtering anymore. There is any no filtering anymore. So now you can just take this as the total number of customers. So when I ask what is the total number of customers in the actual data set, we already have the result here. That's why I did it in your place. And just to show you, so the total number of customers is actually this. So you could just write down the value. So 705 half k. Yes, and I think we can also have the answer to the second question: what is the total revenue? Yes, you just have to explore and tell us. So the total revenue is actually 5.22 billion. Yes. So now those questions are actually easy, but moving down, you have some other question about, and with those one, I think you'll have to work on filter on some features or some filtering option to get actually the response to those kind of question. So I think feel free to reach me out if you have issues. As I'm connected, I will try to answer. No problem. So now, so the first uses, this is a map, a very nice map. You can actually explore later. I can just, yes, by doing that, you could explore how the voice usage is actually distributed in the space. So here you have Nigeria, and all data come from Nigeria. So we could just zoom. Yes. So we could just zoom exactly like, let me see. Let me see. So here is Nigeria. And if I click on that, we'll have some zoom in option like that. And you can see how it's distributed. So the more I zoom, the more you have the tires. Yes. So now going back to your reports by just clicking here, going back to the report. And now, so for the Linux user, you will just have to download and install a virtual machine in order to have your Windows, your Microsoft Store, and from there you can actually download the Microsoft Power BI desktop and try now to open this report and answer the question. So make some research. I know from your side it could be more difficult than those who have already Windows, who are running under Windows. But try by yourself. This is gonna also challenging you a bit. So try, and if you find resources, share with your classmates so that they can make some things like you. So now, I think it's all for this tutorial. I know I take all your time, but did you enjoy?
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Very good.
Yeah, it was nice.
Okay, so yes, I know.
This was very nice.
Yes, I know you will need that in real world business. That's why I make my possible to get you introduced, and you have time now to explore more things. Tableau is the same. Power BI is same thing like Tableau. They are not too far, so you can just try and do things by yourself. This is the last tutorial for this week I'm doing. So very happy about how active you guys are. I want to thank everyone, and I'm very happy of how you guys are doing. And I will be present in the Slack channel. If you have question, reach me out, and we are going to see how to answer. So feel free to do researches by yourself also, and share whatever you find with your classmates. And for the Linux users, also try to get your virtual machine and try to download the Power BI exactly like I explained. And once you download the Power BI, don't remember you are not required to open it to launch it directly. Just double click on the dashboard I actually provide, so that you will just have it open without seeing in. Yes. So I think it's all for this time tutorial. Thank you so much for following, and let's talk another time. Yes. Sebastian, so do you have some question? Some question, or you are going to chat in the Slack channel, right?
Are you sharing your screen?
I don't even know why I get
Yes.
It's now time to go to the work now.
We can make it. You can make
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because it's very easy to explain, but starting up with it is very
Okay, no problem, no problem. So if you have any question, yes, just ask it in the Slack channel. Yes, and yes, we are going to chat and see how to. Yes. So Sebastian, are you going to manage the recording?
Yeah, so I'm going to end it very soon. And guys,
Okay.
thank you so much for tuning in.
Okay.
Reach out anytime if you have any
Okay,
questions.
sure. Okay.
I said I would work with 6.
Okay. Thanks, my guys. Thank you.